Hey YouTube, Kira Twig here, bringing you all an update to my Crystal Beast Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile for September 2021. It's actually been a couple years since the last update to my Crystal Beast deck, which is strange because it's always been a deck I've loved updating. We actually haven't gotten too much support lately for the deck, but I felt an update was due. I always like to change around the numbers, and a lot of you have been requesting that I somehow implement Hamon, the Lord of Striking Thunder, into the deck. A true powerhouse just for the easy setup that you can use to summon out this card onto the field, along with the Rainbow Dragon being our next boss monster that we run in the deck. So with all these powerhouses and just the easy setup that the Crystal Beast monsters can provide, let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So for the Crystal Beast monsters, those numbers really haven't changed too much. We're still running the 3 Crystal Beast Sapphire Pegasus when it's normal summon or special summon or flip summon. So with this card, you can place 1 Crystal Beast monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard face up in your spell and trap card zone and treat it as a continuous spell. And if this card is destroyed while it's in the monster card zone, you can place it face up in your spell and trap card zone as a continuous spell. So that setup just gives you an easy use of all your different Crystal Beast monsters face up in your spell and trap card zone, which then can be easily special summoned onto the field with the many different crystal cards that we run for the spell and trap lineup. So you definitely want 3 Crystal Beast Sapphire Pegasus. This card can also be searched out with plenty of other cards that we're running in the deck, like Crystal Bond, so just being able to have that easy access to it. And for our go-to setup, I am running 3 Crystal Beast Ruby Carbuncle. When this card is special summoned, you can special summon as many Crystal Beast cards as possible from your spell and trap card zone, and if this face-up card is destroyed while it is in the monster card zone, you can place it face up in your spell and trap card zone as a continuous spell. So with this card as your go-to setup for your Sapphire Pegasus, when you special summon Ruby Carbuncle, then you can just get all the additional resources that you've been setting up for your Crystal Beast monsters back onto the field for you to use. If you re-special summon out your Sapphire Pegasus, you can have more additional cards placed into your spell and trap card zone, which is just the immediate special summon option for getting out your Rainbow Dragon or even your Hamon, Lord of Striking Thunder, depending on which one you want to summon out onto the field also. For the other Crystal Beast monsters, I run 2 Crystal Beast Topaz Tiger. Now, the question that always popped up to me was what additional Crystal Beast monsters did I want to run at higher numbers? Ruby Carbuncle and Sapphire Pegasus are always the higher numbers to go for, but cards like Topaz Tiger, Cobalt Eagle always came up as the potential ones to be placed at higher numbers than just one-ofs. But I decided to go with Topaz Tiger just being one of the more powerhouse ones, one that can hit over a good number of cards your opponent may have. If you wanted to have another Crystal Beast card be your 2-of option in the deck, it could potentially be Cobalt Eagle just with its recycle capabilities. But for the other numbers, I'm sticking just to the 1-of. So 1 Cobalt Eagle with, like I said, the return of the target to the top of the deck for the Crystal Beast cards you control. And then the 1 Amber Mammoth, 1 Amethyst Cat, and the 1 Emerald Tortoise. The monster effects for these cards don't pop up as often, but I still like to have them as, reliable options to go into. Plus, you need them having these 7 different cards to set up for the Rainbow Dragon, or even just our go-to fusion option for getting out the Rainbow Over Dragon, which is always treated as an ultimate crystal card. For our boss monsters, I am running 2 Rainbow Dragon and 1 Hamon, Lord of Striking Thunder. Now, these numbers can vary as well. Since we are running the Rainbow Over Dragon as our other go-to boss monster, you can always put in 2 Hamon and then just drop Rainbow Dragon down to 1 copy. But it is player preference at that point with what you want to do in the deck for that setup. Rainbow Dragon, it's always treated as an ultimate crystal card as well. It cannot be normal summoned or set. It must be special summoned from your hand by having 7 Crystal Beast cards with different names on your field and or graveyard. And this card cannot activate the following effect: the turn into special summon. But quick effect, you can send all face-up Crystal Beast cards, monsters you control the graveyard, have this card gain 1,000 attack for each monster sent. And you can banish all Crystal Beast monsters from your graveyard to shuffle all cards on the field into the deck. So with that, then, you have the boost for your Rainbow Dragon to then potentially hit into your opponent for game. And with Hamon, Lord of Striking Thunder, you have to send 3 face-up continuous spells you control the graveyard to special summon this card, giving you a 4,000 attack point monster with just that much more ease than the Rainbow Dragon, but also a monster. When this card is face-up defense position, your opponent cannot select another monster as an attack target. With 4,000 defense as well, it's much more scarier on the defensive side than Rainbow Dragon, but still another way just to stop some of your opponent's plays when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, inflicting 1,000 damage to your opponent. So even if they're trying to play defensively against Hamon, you can still hit for some pretty big numbers with it. And that is it for the monsters. I always like going for the pure build for the numbers for the Crystal Beast monsters. I just find it the most consistent since we have plenty plenty of search option cards in the deck as well. Speaking of those, we'll get right to them with the spell lineup. I run 3 Crystal Bond, probably one of the best spells in the deck. You add 1 Crystal Beast monster from your deck to your hand, and place 1 Crystal Beast monster with a different name from your deck face up in your spell and trap card zone as a continuous spell. You go and activate 1 Crystal Bond per turn. So this card could be the one of that basically sets up your Hamon Lord of Striking Thunder play, because the card you will add from your deck to your hand can be Sapphire Pegasus, which when you summon that card out, puts another card in your spell and trap card zone. And then if Pegasus is destroyed, that gives you 3 cards face up to then summon out Hamon Lord of Striking Thunder onto the field. Crystal Bond is just that good of a card. And what makes it even more scary is the fact that it is searchable with the card Rainbow Bridge. You add 1 crystal spell or trap from your deck to your hand. Now, Rainbow Bridge doesn't have crystal in its name, so you can't search itself off of it, obviously, but you can search Crystal Bond off of this card, just thinning out the deck that much more and more. It's why I'm fine running a low number monster count in the deck, just because we have all this easy search power. Rainbow Bond is our monster search card, and Rainbow Bridge can just search that out. And this card is not a once per turn, so if you have multiple Rainbow Bridges in your hand, you just have searches for all the different crystal spells and traps we run in the deck for more and more of that setup. Being able to set up the traps means that we can search out Ultimate Crystal Magic, having it so if our opponent destroys that monster, we have our basic go-to means to getting out our fusion monster. For some of the other 3-ofs for the spells, I also run 3 Crystal Promise. You target 1 Crystal Beast card in your spell and trap card zone, special summon that target. Once again, not another 1-of spell. It's so great about some of these older Crystal Beast cards, but most of the time I like to summon out Carbuncle, because then if we have the other cards set up in our spell and trap card zone, we can just special summon that thanks to Carbuncle, giving us plenty of resources to then go into the many different monsters that I run in the extra deck, with rank 4 Xyz monsters being a good majority of them, which we'll go over when we get to the extra deck. But 3 Crystal Promise just gives us more and more answers for more and more special summons. Even if our opponent tries to destroy and take care of all those resources on the field, they'll just go to the spell and trap card zone and then be used for us to summon back onto the field. And I also run 3 Crystal Beacon. You special summon 1 Crystal Beast monster from your deck. You must have 2 or more Crystal Beast cards in your spell and trap card zone to activate and resolve this effect. So I would call this a reverse Carbuncle from the spell and trap card zone. If you set up Crystal Bond, getting you the 1 card in the spell and trap card zone, then you summon out your Sapphire Pegasus. That gives you the 2 cards needed to then activate Crystal Beacon, summoning out those resources. If you go for Carbuncle straight from the deck, that gives you 4 monsters on the field. I'll go over the full combo at the end, but Beacon is just another definite 3 of, just being another easy special summon. I'd say the biggest weakness to Beacon is that it is an easy Ash Blossom target, but still, cards like Crystal Promise, since it special summons from the spell and trap card zone, can't be Ash Blossom. So depending on the play style, if you know your opponent has that hand trap in wait, you go with the special summon you know they can't stop. And I also, for some of the lower numbers, run 2 Crystal Blessing. Target up to 2 Crystal Beast monsters in your graveyard. Place those targets face up in your spell and trap card zone as continuous spells. So this just gives you more resources from the graveyard. You can easily make use of them when you go for your extra deck plays. So you just want a way to recycle them. This card's searchable. I only run the 2 though, because you have to have those cards set up in your graveyard to make use of this card. And not only that, but this card can be used to then power up the Rainbow Dragon on the field, being able to then send those cards to the graveyard to give this card an additional 1,000 attack point boost for each one you provided for it to send to the graveyard. I also run 2 Ancient City Rainbow Ruins, just the additional field spell of choice for me in the deck. If I were to run a hand trap in the deck, I'd probably take out Rainbow Ruins to add in, Effect Veiler or Ash Blossom if you wanted more of the higher monster count, and then maybe take out one of the additional Crystal Beacons or Crystal Promise, but that's player preference at that point. You have a lot of fun with Rainbow Ruins, being able to just gain additional effects based on how many Crystal Beast cards are in your spell and trap card zone, and with each one having more of the protection from your battle damage, also just the protection for this field spell on the field, and then also the additional special summon option for your Crystal Beast cards in your spell and trap card zone, depending on how many more and more you have. And then for some of the lower numbers in the deck, I also run 1 Rare Values and 1 Crystal Abundance. Now, Rare Value cannot be searched with Crystal Bond, sadly, since it doesn't have Crystal in the name, but it gives you more draw power to kind of thin out the deck faster. Crystal Abundance, on the other hand, can be searched with Rainbow Bridge. I might have said Crystal Bond for Rare Value, but I meant Rainbow Bridge. With this one, you send 4 Crystal Beast cards from your spell and trap card zone to the graveyard to send all cards on the field of the graveyard, then special summon as many Crystal Beast monsters as possible from your graveyard up to the number of cards cards your opponent controlled. This is a searchable card that can just wipe out all the cards on the field. It sends all the cards to the graveyard, so it doesn't destroy anything. So anything that would have a destroyed upon effect will not resolve. Very, very useful there. But then being able to then summon out all the Crystal Beast monsters from the graveyard that equal out to what your opponent have means that you can potentially swing for a game. And that's why I also like to keep the number of Topaz Tiger higher in the deck, because not only that, but if when it attacks, it has the additional 400 gain against an opponent's monster, but being 1600 attack on its own is just another powerhouse to go with other higher attack point Crystal Beast monsters like Crystal Beast Sapphire Pegasus. And then for the last of the spells, just the one Monster Reborn. If you wanted to go for more of a spell lineup for more setup and stopping your opponent, you can potentially also take out the Rainbow Ruins for a Call by the Grave, and let's say the additional Foolish Burial for just needing that one additional Crystal Beast monster in the graveyard to set up the Rainbow Dragon. But I find Ancient City Rainbow Ruins to be a lot more fun of a playstyle, and Monster Reborn just being another way to recycle Sapphire Pegasus from the graveyard back onto the field. And that is it for the spells. Moving on to the traps, our main go-to fusion play for our Rainbow Overdragon is Ultimate Crystal Magic. When your Crystal Beast monster is destroyed by battle, you can send 7 Crystal Beast cards with different names from your hand, deck, and or face-up on the field to the graveyard to special summon 1 Ultimate Crystal Fusion monster from your extra deck. It's treated as a fusion summon. If a face-up Ultimate Crystal you control leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard, place any number of Crystal Beast monsters from your graveyard face-up in your spell and trap card zone as continuous spells. So that also just gives you another way to recycle Crystal Magic, setting up the ones that are the one-ofs in the deck, because then if you have another Crystal Beast that's destroyed, you can send them back again to the graveyard and get out your additional copy of Rainbow Overdragon. And lastly, for just more of an option card for the trap lineup, I run 3 Crystal Conclave, a continuous trap once per turn. If a face-up Crystal Beast monster you control is destroyed by battle or a card effect, you can special summon 1 Crystal Beast monster from your deck, and you can send this card face-up from the field to the graveyard to target 1 Crystal Beast card you control and 1 card on your opponents. Return them to the hand, and these cannot activate in the same chain, but still a good way to play defensively against your opponent. If you want to go for more of an infinite and permanence route, you can take this card out for that target, but this is more of a budget option depending on what you're trying to play for the deck or just how much you're trying to actually spend for the deck also. And that is it for the main deck. When I move on to the extra deck, our main go-to boss monster is Rainbow Overdragon. The easiest way to summon this card out is with the Ultimate Crystal Magic, but you can also special summon it by tributing an Ultimate Crystal monster, in which you do not use polymerization. So with it, you can tribute out the Rainbow Dragon using this card with that play, and once per turn, you can banish 1 Crystal Beast monster from your graveyard. This card gains the attack equal to that monster until the end of this turn, and quick effect, you can tribute this fusion shard to shuffle all cards back from the field into the deck. So this is a very scary play. Recycling also potentially some of your Crystal Beast monsters for another Ultimate Crystal Magic. You have plenty of plays to go for with this card and the tribute of your Ultimate Crystal card for the level 10 Ultimate Crystal monster. So with it, you have the level 10 monster to go into. You can't obviously use Rainbow Overdragon since it's a level 12 monster, but you have the Rainbow Dragon to rely on once you summon this card out as just another means to get it, and that's why I like running 3 of this card in the deck, so you always have those targets available, whether it be for the trap or just the tribute special summon onto the field, being a much more faster fusion monster to also get out onto the field to use. For the Xyz monsters, the good majority of the Crystal Beasts we run are level 4 with the exception of some level 3s, which I am also making use of for the Xyz monsters. I am running 1 Lightning Chidori. Now, with Sapphire Pegasus being our main go-to card, being able to overlay 2 of them into Lightning Chidori can be a pretty powerful play against your opponent to take care of a lot of resources they have. I also run the 1 Baguska, the 1 Tornado Dragon, the 1 Diamond Direwolf, and the 1 Abyss Dweller for all the rank 4 plays that you can go into. They're very generic, but also very useful for all your setup. And lastly, for the Xyz, 1 Leviair. If your opponent banishes any of your Crystal Beast monsters, it can definitely put a stop to any of your plays you may want to go to, so rely on your level 3 Crystal Beast monsters to overlay into this and get those monsters back onto the field to use. For the Link monsters, I run 1 Barricade Board Blocker, 1 Underclock Taker, along with 1 Asa the Earth Charmer, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Nightmare Cerberus, and lastly the 1 Borreload Dragon. You can have other cards like Boral Sword, Access Code Talker for just more of the destruction card plays in this deck, but this is more of a budget play for those looking to afford for it. And as for some of the go-to plays in the deck, I know that a lot of you are asking for the Hamon setup, with this card just being an easy setup to go for. If you have the Rainbow Bridge, you can use it to search out your Crystal Bond. Crystal Bond can then search out your Sapphire Pegasus. You can then summon out your Sapphire Pegasus, and not only that, you place a Crystal Beast monster with a different name from your deck face up in your spell and trap card zone. So with this play, it all comes down to what you have in your hand. If you have the Crystal Beacon, you can search out any of the Crystal Beasts and set it in your spell and trap card zone. If you have Crystal Promise, you'll want to set up the Ruby Carbuncle, but either way, you can go for the Emerald Tortoise. Then you'll summon out the Sapphire Pegasus, giving you the additional Crystal Beast monster to set in your zone there. And then all you need for that additional setup is the one other monster, which you can destroy the Sapphire Pegasus by attacking into an opponent's monster, giving you that monster, then sending all three to summon out Hamon onto the field. If you use this play when you already had another Crystal Beast set up in the spell and trap card zone, it's just another faster play to make use of, and then the Hamon can also attack into your opponent. Or you can go for the additional play of having the Sapphire Pegasus, your additional two monsters set up by Sapphire Pegasus and Crystal Bond. Then you can activate Crystal Beacon to special summon a Crystal Beast monster onto the field. You'll summon out from the deck Ruby Carbuncle, then using Ruby Carbuncle, when this card is special summoning back all your Crystal Beast monsters, which then you can either use for the different Xyz plays or even the higher Link plays for some of those monsters, setting up these Crystal Beasts in the graveyard that much more faster to then also get out the Rainbow Dragon, having 4 of the 7 needed just to summon out that card. And that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Like I said, I can't believe I let so many years go by and not update Crystal Beast. I always love updating the deck. It's a very, very fun one to play. And I hope you all enjoyed it as well. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira, Twig out.